You're listening to Audiology. Support this channel by becoming a member and be sure to submit your requests for topics in the comments below. Lieutenant General Wilhelm von Knyphausen received information through his spies that General George Washington's main force in Morristown, New Jersey, had diminished to just 3,500 troops due to desertion and sickness. Furthermore, the troops were dealing with internal strife, and morale was at an all-time low. Knyphausen saw this as the perfect opportunity to deliver a critical blow to the fight for independence. He was also under the impression that the citizens of New Jersey, weary of the ongoing war, wouldn't offer much resistance against his forces. Knyphausen outlined a strategy. His soldiers would depart from Elizabethtown, head northwest for approximately 7 miles, and seize control of the town of Springfield and Hobart Gap right at sunrise on June 7th. The strategic position of Washington's army was protected by the natural barrier of the Watchung Mountains, with Hobart Gap serving as a crucial passageway through them. If Knyphausen's forces could take this gap, they would have a direct and level 11-mile route to reach Washington's main encampment. The army that Knyphausen led into this plan consisted of about 6,000 men, divided into 2 main divisions. The 1st Division, under the command of Brigadier General Thomas Sterling, comprised the British 37th and 38th Regiments of Foot, the Hessian Prince's Own Lieb Regiment, the Hessian Regiment von Donop, and the Hessian Corps of Jaegers. The 2nd Division, led by Major General Edward Matthew, consisted of the British 22nd and 57th Regiments of Foot, along with the 1st and 4th New Jersey Volunteers. On June 6th, troops under Knyphausen left Staten Island by boat. They landed at Elizabethtown Point, New Jersey, as the clock struck midnight. Their march west was disrupted when one of the very first shots seriously injured Brigadier General Sterling. This forced the leadership of the 1st Division to shift to Hessian Colonel Ludwig von Wurmb, causing some confusion and slowing them down. By the morning of June 7th, around 60 New Jersey militiamen, led by Ensign Moses Ogden, whose troops were responsible for Sterling's injury, tried to hold back the British forces in an orchard close to Governor Livingston's estate, but were quickly overwhelmed. Not much farther to the west, Colonel Elias Dayton and his men, alongside additional militia, engaged the enemy but eventually had to retreat. At around 8 a.m., Brigadier General William Maxwell took up the fight with his New Jersey Brigade and local militia. They used the natural landscape for cover and managed to hold their position for 3 hours. However, when von Wurmb received reinforcements, the British forces, now 3,000 strong, pushed the American defenders through Connecticut Farms, present-day Union Township, New Jersey, toward Springfield. As Knyphausen observed, the Americans fought stubbornly, pulling back gradually and using every available means to resist. During the clash, the British forces looted the area and set fire to at least a dozen houses. General George Washington, arriving from his headquarters, deployed his personal guard under Major Caleb Gibbs in a counterattack, which resulted in casualties but did not stop the British advance. By the day's end, with darkness falling, Knyphausen decided not to push further. The violence of the day also led to tragic civilian losses, including a stray bullet killing a civilian named Ball and the death of Hannah Caldwell, the wife of Chaplain James Caldwell from Washington's army. She was killed by a British soldier's gunfire as she sat in her home with her children. The incident, as described by Thomas Fleming, happened on a bright day when the soldier, possibly startled by a sudden movement, fired his gun through the window without a clear view, killing Mrs. Caldwell. Soon after, British soldiers entered and started looting the Caldwell house until their officers ordered them out. That evening, General Knyphausen and his team reviewed the situation. His attempt to reach Hobart Gap had been unsuccessful, mainly due to the unexpected number of New Jersey militia members who showed up to fight him, some coming from as far as Hopewell, New Jersey. Going forward, Knyphausen knew that if he pushed ahead, he would surely have to face Washington's well-positioned army in a major battle, given that the Americans had control of the strategic high ground, and with militia forces ready to attack from the sides, the outlook was grim. So, Knyphausen decided to pull back. On the following day, June 8th, there was a bit of skirmishing as the British troops made their way back to Elizabethtown Point. Early in the morning, at 6 a.m., 1 British soldier was captured. Later, an officer and 16 soldiers from the 22nd Regiment were taken prisoner while they were on duty along the Elizabethtown Road. Meanwhile, some American soldiers lost their lives to British cannon fire. 2 weeks after this retreat, Knyphausen tried once more to take over Hobart Gap and pose a direct threat to Washington's main forces in what would become known as the Battle of Springfield. When it came to the losses suffered, the official records for the Continental troops indicated 12 deaths, 50 injuries, and 13 soldiers unaccounted for during this activity. Specifically, Maxwell's New Jersey Brigade faced 6 deaths, 38 injuries, and 11 soldiers missing. It's important to note that these figures do not cover the losses among the militia. Historian Thomas Fleming points out that according to the Pennsylvania Packet's July 8, 1780 issue, the militia experienced 10 deaths, 40 injuries, and 10 captures across the entire conflict span of June 7th to 23rd. Adding the casualties from June 23rd, which included 13 killed, 49 wounded, and 9 missing, the total American losses against Kneipphausen's forces between June 7th and June 23rd amounted to 35 dead, 139 wounded, 10 captured, and 22 missing. On the British side, the total losses from the beginning of their campaign with the Battle of Connecticut Farms on June 7th until the end of the engagement on June 23rd at the Battle of Springfield were 25 dead, 234 wounded, and 48 missing. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more content.